Crown chakra is that connection with the divine. To me, that's the first place I'd like to start an energy scan, is seeing that energy connection with the infinite, unlimited source.
Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman.
And welcome everybody to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. So grateful to have you here. I'm looking forward to having a great time with you, talking about energy scan secrets and talking about that crown chakra. I'm going to be talking about some of the things that I've noticed after doing thousands of energy scans with people over the last 15 years plus in people's crown chakras, particularly for those that are light workers, energy healers, etc., because those are the people I've done my energy scans on primarily. So there's a lot of different things I've seen, a lot of different things I've become aware of, and scanning so many people. And it just came to me fairly recently that this is content I could be sharing with the whole world, not just with people in my trainings and certifications, etc. So instead, I'm going to start sharing it here so you can start learning more about the very interesting nature of each one of these chakras and how it operates, what things that I notice commonly in each chakra. And it'll give you clues. It gives you like insight to your own crown chakra and also to some of the things you may notice if you're an intuitive type of person and you do any of your own sort of readings or scanning. So, when I do the training, I do go into each one of these chakras in a more comprehensive sort of way. I wouldn't say deeper because I'm going to share some real nuggets today. But in a training, we actually talk more about how you go about scanning the chakras. Whereas today, I'm going to give you information that I've picked up on some of the things that have been interesting or somewhat common that I see within the healers. All right, so let's get into what those things are. So the crown chakra is that connection with the divine. To me, that's the first place I'd like to start an energy scan, is seeing that energy connection with the infinite, unlimited source. And it's a sense of just light pouring into someone from that crown chakra, the top of the head. Now, there's a lot of either contraction or lightness, that I'll see within each person's crown chakra. And some of the common themes are, are we looking at is like, are they connected to the life force itself? I mean, are they connected? Do they trust life? Or is there an abandonment issue? I find like that's a common thing. I've been kicked out down here, and so then there's a disconnection in the crown, like I don't want to be here. And then that often will show up in the root chakra too, then, like just a sense of, oh, just take me back. So yeah, being isolated, feeling abandoned, feeling like you're here left to figure it all out after you've been beamed down here, even though you probably signed some paper, some divine light paperwork on it, but yet still you're here, right? And you forgot that you even signed up for it. That's how I kind of see it. And because it's sort of how I see it is you agree to come in here, and then at the last minute, some of you, you're like, well, wait a minute, no, it's like if you're about to skydive or something, like probably some people, like they show in the movies anyway, people start feeling like, oh my God, am I really going to do this? And I think that happens for a lot of people that come into the human form, especially if they've had some kind of crazy lifetimes, which, healers usually have. They've been healers in past lives and all that stuff. Or witches, Wicca types, or, all different types. These are things we can find throughout the chakra system. So if someone was boiled in hot water, or if they, I mean, I laugh now, it's easy to laugh now, or if they were burned in the fire, burned at the stake, like you may see those energies in any of the chakras, including the crown chakra, because it can help disconnect you, from the natural flow of the infinite through your crown chakra. So persecution issues are very common for healers and their chakras, and it includes the crown chakra. And I will get into the other chakras, by the way, in future episodes. So check those out. If came out a while back, you want to go ahead and get ready to listen to them all if you find this interesting. So yeah, a lot of times what I find, I'm looking at like, is this energy really dropped in, in the crown chakra? How deep does it go? How much of a team are they connected with? So those are all things I'm looking for. Then it's just a matter of really being present with what I'm sensing there and letting the answers come to me. It's all part of the secrets. The secret is to trust what you sense is there. And then there's techniques that I teach to be able to drill into those specifics. So, I might find self-doubt. I might find that people are very analytic or think a lot. Um, all sorts of every single chakra, I'm going to say this, all sorts of things. But, this basic thing of abandoned versus like I'm provided for, I'm connected, I have a lot of support, um, from life itself, from my guides, from my guidance team. I could see how extensive their team is by looking at the energy that enters into the crown chakra and then from above. So, yeah, often I might get some of their initial signals of what type of being they may be beyond simply a human being, but like, are they a crystal child? Are they indigo? Are they, all these different things? And they just come to me. I'm not trying to put them in a category, but these ideas usually just come to me. Often I can see a sense of their life purpose and mission may arise into my awareness sometimes, but even if I'm not looking for it, sometimes I will show up in the beginning of my scan, and because I started the crown, versus what some people might do is scan from the root up. But usually I start from the crown, and then I'm looking at you know is it are or so if there's openness and energy's pouring in, are they really paying attention? Then how does that relate to the third eye? If the information, the downloads are happening, and there's some trust there, there may not be a trust of the intuitive sense, which then we're getting into the third eye. So yeah, the connection within the crown and then the third eye and everything, and then the gateway of intuition and spiritual connection to the pineal gland, represented as one of the physical aspects that we could look at, can also be investigated. But I typically don't look directly at the pineal gland unless requested, because I kind of get the gist of the information that's needed, in my opinion, without having to look directly at the pineal gland. Because if we open up the chakras, especially the third eye, but also with in combination with the crown, usually that pineal gland is going to release and open and vibrate, and shine at its next level. Things like people worried if it's calcified and all that stuff, like all that. Obviously everything's from energy, so whatever its state, it's going to be restored into a greater state when we work with the energy. So yeah, when there's a heaviness on the crown, um, sometimes people have been rulers in past lives. I might see a literal like crown, uh, type of thing on their head. And I might see the scenes where they were, again, maybe plundered, robbed, and things like some of those things may come in right away that keep you instead of divine flow of like always evaluating for danger and needing to think things through, because we don't know when the next robber is going to be around the next corner. So yeah, so some of the like money stuff and the wealth stuff can even be picked up. And now again, all the chakras, the crown chakra, like, oh, there's no trust, so the money comes in, like there's could be a problem. Um, yeah, but overall, it's like, is the connection there? Are we open to trusting our natural present self? And then how deep does that go? Does it go deep into the body? That energy that I see going into the crown, into the body? Or does it just seem to go only so far, only right into the head? Which means there's a lot more spiritual embodiment that is desired, it's needed in order for them to be as whole and well as they possibly can be. There's people with incredibly open crown chakras that are fragmented in the rest of their chakras, or some of their other chakras, and they have health issues, they have all kinds of issues, but they get their downloads. They're connected, but it's difficult to navigate life. They're not grounded in their bodies necessarily, but they get downloads. Or that crown chakra could be closed off. I don't really trust life. I'm on my own. I got a strong mental willpower. I don't feel anything. I don't sense anything. I don't get any downloads. Or it's more minimal. It's lighter. It's not like I don't trust. I don't even know. I've had people recently like I try the pendulum. I try this. I try that. I can't seem to get any guidance. So that's someone that's going to have maybe some issues. Sometimes that person didn't have tons of like a massive issue in the crown chakra, but there was a heaviness in there. So that reflected in some of her experiences overall with being connected and be able to trust, to trust and trust signals so that there was heaviness in there. And in her case, I saw it like on her brain. I didn't actually tell her it was exactly there. But so there's all these different ways it can show up, and every single way it shows up is showing me something. It's showing me something that I could look into deeper. Okay, wow, what's that? Why is that way? And then we let the infinite intelligence, my guidance, to just simply become aware of that. Well, what does that mean? Where I might, and throughout the chakras, okay, where did it come from in their life? Where did it come from in past lives? If you're into, future lives influencing this life or other timelines, you can look at all of it. You can look at whatever you want, have fun with it. But the big thing is just kind of get a sense of where it's coming from. And because I see everything as sort of a metaphor anyway, right? So if we clear it in this life, it'll start clearing up all the other stuff wherever it's coming from. So, but it's interesting to see where it might be coming from. And certainly the people that I energy scan are curious where it's coming from. Where did this come from? So, when you go through the energy scan training that I offer, the 2-day training, you start to get a better idea of how to, tease these things out. But for today, I just want to give you some more awareness of some of the things that are going on. I mean, for me, my crown chakra is usually, I'd say almost always, like all the readings I've gotten on my chakras, I think always has been, as far as I can remember, has been the one that's been the most open. I remember the most open I've ever heard it was when somebody did one of those analyses percentage wise, like 93% open or something like that, which is significantly high based on the general population. I think the root, and then it is typical fashion for, healers, I think at times at least, not maybe not always. I don't know. The root chakra probably has been the one I've had the biggest issues with. Um, so yeah, and then, yeah, when I do scans, there's people I have this solid, somewhat solid, root chakras, but no, they're not open to trusting life. So you can have one without the other, that's for sure. um, but yeah, a lot of the self-worth, self-love stuff. If you're not feeling connected with life, you don't feel like life loves you and is guiding and directing your life. You feel that's even there, much less trusting it. Then, life's very challenging. I mean, and you might feel like you're on your own. You might feel again like you gotta fight your way through life, and you gotta work hard, and the worker bee hat comes on, in the crown chakra. So if they've been doing spiritual, magical work in other lifetimes, and for whatever reason they were shut down from it, then they're looking for more traditional roles in their life. Okay, let me just do a job. We know that other stuff doesn't end well, so and then they don't have the confidence in their ability to be connected, and they won't allow themselves to be more connected because if they were more connected, they naturally would want to be doing the magical healing work that they're meant to be doing. So really opening up the energy in the crown chakra can be huge to inspire somebody to want to actually be their true nature, to do their true purpose in the world. It's it's very, very big for that. So yeah, there's many, many things we can get into. If one of the things that I like to employ for myself through all these chakras, and I'll keep mentioning it on each episode, is there's many things you can do to clear chakras and work with your own chakras, right? But for me, it's just my primary way is just to get openness, get space, get the light flowing through each energy center versus a heaviness, versus like tension. Um, so you can use that if you're like, wow, I don't know, I think I've heard my crowd chakra is kind of closed, or I feel like mine's kind of closed. Then, you could start working on some of it on your own. Of course, when you work with an energy healer, if you were, I don't do a lot of one-off healings these days. I did all that when I first got started doing healing, and I'm like, I want to help healers to do more healing, and I want to help them to do this work even more than doing healing for people. Um, then that's what I've been guided to do for now. So, but I do healings for people that go through my one-to-one clients and my programs and stuff. So, and sometimes other times I do that in various ways, for sure. So when we're going to clear these energies, yeah, we can do a certain amount on our own. But one of the things you can do is just, even affirming, like it can help. I mean, people poo-poo affirmations, but the truth is, if you would just say like, I'm open to the infinite intelligence that I am. I am supported by God or source or spirit or whatever resonates. Um, that helps open the crown chakra. Those things help. Does it do a permanent shift? Is deep permanent shift? Well, maybe, maybe not, right? But it does something. It helps. So yeah, doing those affirmations, maybe writing them down on a card, reading them every day. That's another way, you can go about, opening up these centers. There's, I'm sure if you were to research on your own, there's an indefinite amount of ways to work with your energy. So I won't go through all of them. I'll just give you a few ideas today. So, um, yeah, so yeah, it's patterns of being stubborn, and fighting up against other people can be there. Where again, I see the stubbornness in the head, say headstrong. Definitely pick up on those type of patterns there too. If they're connected, if they are connected with their team, are they? What I'm looking for is, are they utilizing that team? Now, not every single scan do I look into all these different things because I do quick ones often, 15 minutes. I don't have time to go through every single comprehensively everything within the time that I allot. But my deeper dive, scans that I do, which are available, if you were to check out my website, I do some deeper dive energy scans. It's pretty in depth, but people that receive them have to really digest what I share because there's so much, and their minds get involved, and then they wonder, is that this true or that true? When I do briefer ones, it's more digestible. They're more likely to get excited and resonate right away. But the more information you give, the more they tend to get like it's a lot to process. And then that's why I record those because they need time to process and review it. I've had people think like that it wasn't that great, that long scan, and then wasn't as accurate or good as your shorter ones, and then they go through it and I'm like, wow, no, wait a minute, this is for real. This is extremely insightful and accurate. So that's one of the things is we don't trust the signals that we're getting, our own intuition sometimes, right? We get an insight or whatnot, and the more that crown chakra is open, the more we are likely to trust our own signals for ourselves. Third eye gets a little bit more into your interface with other beings, with the world. And so then we look at how you interfacing with the world through that intuitive center. And that's a whole nother set of things. And of course, everything has some kind of relationship to each other. So, but there are people very, very stuck, let's say, or shut down, maybe in the third eye. We have a great connection in the crown chakra. So, just because they're trusting the overall flow coming in, they may not trust the flow projecting out into the world to psychically tune into others, to be telepathic, to manipulate energy and all that stuff. So we'll get into that in the third eye, podcast. So yeah, the different beings, the specific beings someone's connected to, I can perceive that in part, through the crown chakra and other chakras too, especially the heart. But the heart and the crown are probably the definitely the top two ones where I notice it the most. Um, Maybe, yeah. Again, it could be other chakras too, but those are the two that where it just pops off the page the most. Like, okay, you're connected to Archangel Michael, or especially the angels. Sometimes I do get Jesus there as well, Mother Mary. All can be there. In the heart, I tend to get the spirit guides a little stronger for me when I, as a reader, as an energy scanner. Um, but yeah, so it's interesting to take a look and to see what the team might be like, how extensive, who's showing up. Um, those are some of those things, and then um, yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to share some of these things with you because it is kind of fascinating. I mean, one of the things I don't do, and I will probably bring it up again on some of the other episodes, but I don't really, pay attention to things like the color of the chakra, the rotations, and I just directly like what's going on in the chakra, period. What's in there. And so I use a different type of system to sense and to perceive what's going on. The transcendent ability to experience transcendence in your life flows through that crown chakra. If you don't have it there, you're not going to experience it. So when you say, I'm going to transcend this matrix, if your head's all bottled up, you got like, I'm confused. Confusion's another thing I see a lot in the crown chakra. I'm confused. Where am I? I see head traumas a lot come through while I'm scanning the crown. Oh, you were hit from behind in a past life or this life, right? You had a head injury, something like that. And those head injuries can impinge upon the flow of the light or the energy coming into that crown chakra. So there's any number of things that can pop in, at any time intuitively as I'm reading each center.
Do you want to meditate and make money? Let it be simple. Let it be easy. Let it be fun. Go to yoursacredpurpose.com and get your free meditate, make money meditation today.
So the cool thing is all of it can be transmuted. All of it can be brought into greater wholeness. You're not stuck with any of it. But what about that past life? What about what happened to me even recently or earlier in my life? I mean, everything is malleable, so to speak, right? Everything can be completely changed, completely transmuted. Uh, yeah, I mean, as far as on an energetic quality level, at least, I mean, is it possible there's certain things that are kind of immutable in each person that you're not really ever going to change? Yeah, maybe. There's certain aspects of how your energy is set up that, yeah, okay, truth be known, perhaps will never change. All right, possibly. But everything that matters can be shifted. Your energetic connection to each chakra and the flow of the energy in each chakra absolutely is completely has the ability to be shifted. So, so yeah, and some of the other things I like to look at just to talk shop a little bit more with you is, yeah, I might look at things like elementals, like elemental energy. Do we have air energy in there? Do we have water energy, steel, fire, those type of elements? Um, so yeah, I mean the crown chakra is more associated obviously with like an air energy more than anything. Um, but you might find some of the other elements in there, and it's just interesting to see the nature of the flow of the energy and to see what's going on. If there's stubbornness, there might be some real steel in there, But it's not, what if there was an enlightened steel? Then that's where we're recording in more of like an Archangel Michael's energy, or Archangel Metatron, or, whatever. Those type of frequencies maybe there. We can see connections and communications perhaps with their ET friends, with the fairies, with pixies, with animals, with so I see some of that already there, even though it's not in, the third eye interconnection with the world. Sometimes I'll see it too in that crown chakra. Um, so yeah, so there's so much more we could get into. I just wanted to spend some time with you today to share some, I wanted to say, call them like kind of like secrets, some of the things that I notice in the crown chakra when I'm energy scanning all of you that are listening in. And there's so much more. I mean, perhaps I'll write a book on it all someday. But for now, I just wanted to, share some of this fascinating information that comes to me. I mean, it's wild, the things. I can't wait to share with you about the third eye, because there's all kinds of wild abilities that we can be experiencing through that third eye if we just open to them. And some things are naturally kind of already set up in there and a lot of these things, like every chakra has been informed from, again, from your past lives, from what already has happened, is a foundation upon which all of it is unfolding from, So anyway, so I'll just say that if you're interested, to learn more about your chakras and deep diving it more, reach out, go to yoursacredpurpose.com. If I have space, and I often am booked out for a while lately anyway. If you're an energy healer, you want to have an energy healing business, you could, request a quick meeting with me. Go to the Rock Your Sacred Purpose consultation page. That's where you can actually purchase getting an energy scan consultation from me, along with me intuitively looking at, what can happen for your business next. Even if you haven't started, we can start tuning into what might want to happen, and getting strategic with that as well. So you can check that out at Rock Your Sacred Purpose consultation at yoursacredpurpose.com, or just put it into Google, Gemini, whatever you want to call it these days, the Gemini thing or whatever. But I guess it's still the Google search bar or whatever. But so, yeah, so you'll see all that there. That's a deep dive energy scanning I do, and much more. I mean, some people, they work with me just briefly, and they get a tremendous insights and shifts and changes. They get implementable, uh, insights for their business or their life, or for their spiritual practice or their evolution, and they walk right away with that right away, right off that first consultation. And sometimes that, on top of just a follow-up or two, is, for some people that are doing well in their business already, can make a massive shift for them. So yeah, so you can check that out again at yoursacredpurpose.com, the Rock Your Sacred Purpose consultation. And if you if you're not ready for that for some reason, and you want to reach out and just connect with me, you can feel free to drop us a note through the contact form at the page. Hey, I heard you on your podcast talking about crown chakra, and then if you have a question or a comment on the show, feel free to send it there, or just put it in the comments wherever you are. If you have a comment section as well, like, just put your comments in and questions. And if but it's a more unreliable way. I may or may not see all those comments depending on all the platforms that you're on. So, so yeah. Anyway, then you also will put a link below for Energy Scan Secrets, the the call that I do periodically. So go ahead and get signed up for the next Energy Scan Secrets call. I share more about how you literally can directly start using these abilities to read other people. So what some of the keys, the secrets are to that, more the how. And then I talk about the energy scan training at that call as well, where, we spend 2 days. The first full day is all energy scan stuff. Second day is more energy scanning for sure, but it's also how to enroll people into working with you from an energy scan, and how to build your business as well. Like, you can use your energy scan to help with healing services, but also it's a great opener for people to start. You can do a proper assessment of their energy and get to some deeper things about them, and then start working with them. So you can check out that call, and we'll also put a link for the actual training below in case you're like, wow, okay, I've been listening to him for a while, and this episode was pretty cool. I'd love to know more about what he could teach me around this energy scanning thing he's talking about. Let me check that out. So we'll put that down below as well. Okay, so yeah, I think that's it for the time being. And I'm looking forward to doing the next episode, is talk a little third eye action. My next Energy Scan Secrets podcast. So yeah, keep on listening in. Like I always say, keep on listening in, keep on tuning in, and we'll keep on rocking it here at Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Till next time, everyone.
For listening to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Wednesday and Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.